Welcome to Love and Tears. If this is your first time visiting the channel, don't forget to subscribe and like so we have more motivation to bring you more touching stories. And now, please join us in today's story. It was a quiet Thursday evening, the kind of quiet that makes people feel uneasy. The house was silent except for the hum of the dishwasher in the kitchen. I sat on the sofa, folding clothes to kill time, while waiting for my husband to come home from work. My son Ethan had just walked into the house after his evening shift. He worked to save up for the new semester at university. At only 22 years old, Ethan was already grown up steady and had many traits similar to his father, but was different in his own way. His presence always brought vitality to the house, and today was no exception. "I'm home. Are you okay, Mom?" Ethan raised his voice as he entered the living room, tossing his keys on the table. I smiled. "Yeah, I'm just finishing up some things." "Are you hungry?" I asked. "A little hungry." "Is Dad coming home soon?" My hand suddenly stopped on the pile of clothes. "Yeah, probably in about an hour." My voice was faster than usual, and Ethan noticed it. He frowned slightly, his eyes questioning. "What's wrong, Mom?" His voice was calm but a little worried. I quickly forced a smile. "It's nothing. Why would I be okay?" But even as I said it, I could still feel the mist of unnameable things hanging between us. Ethan sat down on the edge of the sofa, closer than I thought. His presence both comforted and weighed me down. In that quiet space, each passing second seemed to carry an invisible pressure. I looked at him, my heart suddenly filled with memories. Just the other day, he was a little boy, running around the house full of questions and laughter. Now before my eyes was a grown man, confident, but sometimes strangely distant. "Are you okay, Mom?" Ethan asked again, this time in a soft, warm voice. His eyes met mine, evoking a sweet and painful nostalgia. I quickly stood up. "Mom, I'm going to the kitchen to cook." But I could still clearly feel his gaze, lingering, following, making my heart flutter. In the kitchen, I tried to focus on the pot of food, hoping that the normalcy of cooking would help me calm down. But every time I glanced at the clock, I secretly hoped my husband wouldn't come home early. Part of me wanted to keep this silence with Ethan, though I didn't know why. Ethan followed me into the kitchen, leaning against the counter, his eyes focused. The way he looked at me made my heart pound. "Mom, do you need my help?" His voice was low and reserved. I shook my head quickly. "It's okay, I can do it." But the distance between us seemed to narrow. The atmosphere became thick. When his hand accidentally touched mine, a current ran through my body. I quickly pulled back, embarrassed. "Mom," Ethan's voice was worried. I'm fine, just a little tired," I replied, but my heart was pounding. Something was changing, and I knew I couldn't pretend not to notice anymore. Dinner passed in silence. Ethan and I sat across from each other, the clatter of knives and forks louder than usual. My husband should have been home by now, but the clock ticked, and there was still no sign of him. "Have you talked to Dad today?" Ethan asked, his voice calm, but his eyes seemed to be searching for another answer. "Yes, Dad said he would be back at 8. Probably stuck in traffic." I answered with a slight tremble. Ethan's eyes did not leave me. Are you okay, Mom? I'm fine, Ethan. But I knew clearly I was not okay at all. At that moment, my phone vibrated. A text message from my husband. I'll be home late. You should eat first. Don't wait. My heart clenched. Ethan looked at me silently, then softly said, Dad won't be home early, right, Mom? I nodded slightly. So, tonight it's just the two of us. His voice dropped as if it contained many layers of meaning. At that moment, the distance between us seemed to disappear. Ethan stepped closer, reaching out to hold my hand. The seemingly harmless touch made my whole body tremble. I need to talk to you. Ethan, we can't. I interrupted, but the words caught in my throat. He looked at me for a long time, then sighed softly. I just feel strange, Mom. I'm confused, and I think we need some time to think. I clenched my hands, trying to keep my distance. No, Ethan. I love you, but not in that way. We have to stop right now. A flash of disappointment flashed in his eyes. I don't want to lose you. I won't lose you, but we need some space. My voice was shaky but firm. The air was thick, heavy, almost suffocating. Finally, I advised him to go back to school early. Ethan nodded silently. The next morning, the house was strangely quiet. I walked downstairs and saw my son sitting at the table, his suitcase by the door. I'm going back to school today, Ethan said, his eyes sad. I could only nod. Maybe it's better that way. Before leaving, he hesitated. Mom, I'm sorry. I never wanted to make you feel awkward. Tears welled up in my eyes. It's okay, Ethan. Everything will be okay. He nodded, but his eyes couldn't hide the pain. I love you, Mom. His voice was soft and trembling. I whispered, Mom, I love you too always. And then Ethan walked out the door. The house suddenly felt empty, so quiet it was painful. In the days that followed, I tried to bury myself in work cleaning, rearranging everything. But the more I cleaned, the more vivid the memory of that moment in the kitchen became. My husband came back as if nothing had happened kindly, asking about things and casually telling stories about work. He had no idea about the storm that had been raging in my heart and that of my son. I did not dare to confess, nor did I dare to face it. Time passed. Ethan contacted less. The messages were hasty and short. I did not dare to force him. I understood that we both needed time. But deep down, I knew clearly the boundary between me and my son had cracked, and we could never go back to the way we were before. Thank you for listening to my story. If you find this story touching, please subscribe and share so that the Love and Tears channel can continue to send you moving emotional stories about love and life. The story ends, but the echoes remain. Between a mother and a child, the feeling should be pure and innocent. However, just a moment can cause a crack, making everything never return to the way it was before. What do you think? Is the distance enough to heal, or will that crack forever be deeply engraved in their hearts? Leave your thoughts in the comments section. And don't forget to subscribe to the Love and Tears channel to join us in stories that touch the deepest emotions of love, betrayal, and wordless tears.